Real Talk conversation number 2 was about vaping today. My voice all of a sudden just left. I don't know where it went. I haven't been yelling. I haven't been talking. I don't know what's been going on. Either way, we talked about vaping today. And we had 2 students get up and talk at the beginning. And they spoke pretty negatively about it. I hope that they were giving their honest opinions. You hope that kids aren't saying one thing and then actually, acting like another. But they didn't really have all that positive things to say about it. It seems like they had seen the dangers of vaping, so they were kind of out on it. And I think that most of our kids were of that same mindset. No kids, and I don't know if a kid would ever come out and say that he was really for it. Like, oh, vaping is the best thing ever. We did ask the 7th graders. I said 8th graders, no more talking, because 8th graders can be the most talkative. 7th graders are a little bit more sheepish, but 7th graders, they said that they weren't terribly affected by it. They see it in their social media, but they aren't terribly affected by it. They aren't terribly moved to go do it. But it's an interesting thing that happened in our last class. There was a student that got up and talked about having experienced vaping, and he had said that it gives you a little buzz and then maybe a headache for maybe 5 minutes of a buzz, 30 minutes of a headache. So he didn't really see that it was worth it. But something that he brought up that I thought was very informative, and I share with our students, was how even though he hadn't done any of these things in a long time, he said that he still felt the temptation to do it. Still felt addicted to it. Still felt that even us sitting there talking about it, he said it really kind of brought that up in his body, and he was really feeling like he needed to be engaged in those activities. I thought that was very telling about how addictive it can be. One of our more well-informed students brought up the point about vaping being brought about to help those who were hooked on cigarettes to stop smoking cigarettes. And as a way to kind of wean them off. And I've read that as well. That's the reason that they developed vapes and Juuls and all that. However, and I said, yeah, maybe it could be good for that. But for our purposes in our class, I think it was made clear that what we're talking about here is, okay, if that's the reason that they were made, how are we finding so many kids doing these things and making it seem cool? So yeah, that could be one good reason to do it, or at least not as bad reason as smoking. But if kids are getting hooked on these things because of the access they have to it or the taste, this is a negative on their lives, because now not only are people like not smoking cigarettes, but they're actually becoming addicted to nicotine because of the existence of vapes and Juuls. We spent a lot of our time talking about the different age regulations. For so many years, it's been 18 or 19 when you can buy cigarettes or any tobacco products. But now across the country, they're looking to raise it to 21. So asking the kids' opinions about that, and they many of them expressed the mindset of, kids are going to find a way to get these things if they want them. So they didn't really see a good out of raising the age. However, other kids said, hey, if we raise the age, especially raise it to an age that's out of high school, it's no longer 18 or 19, but something out of high school, then it makes it that much less likely that our kids are going to be interacting with someone, because that person's going to be doing, in the workforce, away at college, whatever, and they're not going to be in your own high school, so you're not going to have someone that's in your own high school that has direct access to buying these things. Now, they could still get them, but it just makes it one step harder. So there was a realization that could be a good thing to raise the age. I brought something that I've thought about for a long time, especially when I was a teenager. You have, my low battery came on. That you have, people have said this line, if I'm 18 and I'm able to be drafted or go into the military and give my life for my country or shoot somebody with a gun in the name of my country, how am I not able to smoke cigarettes or drink alcohol, things like that? And I think, I've always thought that there was a point to that. If we're gonna, maybe we should make this a little bit more consistent, where you can do some of those things if you're of, maybe at least let's make them all 21 or all 18 or all 19 or whatever, just so we have a consistent line of reasoning there. So those are some of the things we talked about. I think it's a great conversation. Maybe some of our 7th graders are just seeing these things on their social media. They're not really engaged in them. But I would without a doubt tell you that our 8th graders, and if not many of our 7th graders too, have been around people and experiencing these things. It's a part of their middle school experience. So just like maybe for us it was cigarettes, as a kid, you're trying to see what cigarettes taste like, what's the big deal, what's everybody talking about, or our kids are experiencing these things, so we need to talk about it and help them to view us as someone that they trust, because as I've said many times in these videos, you guys are the trusted adults, the primary catechist in these kids' lives, the adults that will make the most difference. I could get up there and talk all day. I could talk till I lost my voice. I didn't even talk to lose my voice. Sarah Swafford's talking here today. I'm not talking here today. She was fantastic, by the way. I'll put the video up on Facebook about how great she was. But I can talk till I'm blue in the face, and it won't make as much of a difference as you parents will. So just continue to encourage you guys to have these conversations with your kids, so they can get out their thoughts and to really have somebody to help them work through these issues in their lives. So God bless you guys, and again, I really appreciate the opportunity to have the Real Talk class and to talk to our students about these things.